What's going on, everyone? So, Herb Jones. He's somebody that's been linked to the Lakers and very heavily recently. A lot of talk about the Lakers going and acquiring Herb Jones, which, I mean, he makes a ton of sense. He might be the most ideal kind of 3-and-D wing for what the Lakers need. Now, I've talked about Andrew Wiggins, Miles Bridges. I'm really high on. I actually think he might be the best option for like now and the future. But for what the Lakers really are looking for, Herb Jones might be best for that slotted position, right? Miles Bridges and Andrew Wiggins are better shot makers, shot creators than Herb Jones, right? But those guys, how often are they going to be able to maximize their greatest strength, which is they can just go get you, 25, 30. Miles Bridges go get you 40. Even we've seen him do that. We've seen him have a couple games like that, right? On any given night, they could be your second, maybe third best guy, right? Like two guys that can really explode and just change the tide of a game. Where, Herb Jones, I'm not saying can't go get you 25 or something like that, but I'm saying Miles Bridges and Andrew Wiggins, their self-creation, their ability to create for other stuff like that, just how much are they going to be able to do that with LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves, right? Where Herb Jones is just better slotted in as that kind of tucked in 3-and-D style guy, buy in, defend multiple positions, tuck you wherever you need to be tucked, knock down the open three. Yes, he can still attack closeouts and stuff like that, right? I'm not saying he's just like if he can't shoot the three, he doesn't know what to do. Like I'm not going that extreme, but I'm saying he's a guy that can still put the ball on the deck, but he's more comfortable just kind of slotted in and tucked away, right? He right now is the cheapest as far as salary wise goes. Also, his new extension is cheaper than both Andrew Wiggins and Miles Bridges. So you have just like a better kind of long-term position with a Herb Jones. He's a guy that fits now, fits the future. He's also the youngest out of the three, right? So Herb Jones makes a ton of sense for the Lakers. The problem is, that there's going to be a lot of competition for Herb Jones. One, he isn't officially available. People are just thinking some point the Pelicans are probably going to tear this down. They were already considering offers in the offseason now at the trade deadline. Probably maybe pull something like that off. If he becomes available and the Lakers can get him, go get him. Right, I've talked about. Lakers are like a Herb Jones and like a Keon Ellis away from probably being the best team in basketball. Right? I think Lakers need that top tier guy, and then they need that kind of, the rotation guy, right? Like that second tier guy. If they can get that, I think at that point, Lakers are the best team in all of basketball. And so to me, right, people ask all the time, what would you give up for Herb Jones? And to me, I think it just, honestly, everything, because the Lakers don't have much, right? So if you told me it's like Rui, Dalton Connect, I've seen a lot of Rui, Dalton Connect, a first and a pick swap for Herb Jones and Sadiq Bey. Yes, I would do that. I would do that 10 times, including Sunday. I love Rui Hachimura. I've talked about if there's ways to go get a guy like a Herb Jones and still keep a Rui Hachimura, absolutely do it. You could go get Herb Jones and still keep Rui Hachimura, right? Thing is, one, teams are probably going to want Rui. See if hey, he's a guy that can, kind of fit long-term, right? Two, if you're getting, you'd be getting multiple wings that can slot in, right? So, I like Sadiq Bey just by himself. Even if you miss out on Herb Jones, I'd love to just go get Sadiq Bey, right? Just bring in Sadiq Bey. So to me, it depends on, what you can get. But, there's a couple factors that go into it is where would I stop? Would I do, if I could get Sadiq Bey, if I could get Herb Jones, Sadiq Bey, and Misi, I would trade basically sell the farm. I don't think so there's a lot of questions would you trade a Dude Theroux for him? That I don't know if I would, because Lakers, even if you get a Herb Jones, you still need secondary wings. You still need at some point that other guy that you can slot in alongside, a Herb Jones in a post LeBron era. Now you could argue you could do that, but that post LeBron era could be as soon as next season, right? And you do have guys like Jake LaRavia and stuff like that, but I don't know. I'm high on a Dude Theroux. I would absolutely try. From a Lakers standpoint, right? Remove our bias for a moment, right? Because many of us love a dude Thero and are high on Thero. Remove our bias for a moment. Lakers are trying to win right now. Lakers are trying to win today. If you want to win today, Herb Jones and Saddiq Bey give you a far better chance of winning this year, probably even next year, and maybe even the year after that, right? At least the next 2 or 3 years. Saddiq Bey and Herb Jones give you a much better chance of winning basketball games and an NBA championship than a dude Thero does. So if you remove your bias, like if I am Rob Pelinka, right, and it's my job to remove my bias to make the best trade possible to give us the best chance to win, then yes, I would trade a dude Thero in order to get Herb Jones and Saddiq Bey, as long as you get Saddiq Bey in the process too. Because now you got your first tier and second tier wing, but you still have, but then that point again, I'm not giving up my first, right? Like there's give and take there, right? Because then what I'm doing is I'm going and trading for another guy. Like, can I go get a Keon Ellis at that point? Right? Maybe now I am giving up my first for a Keon Ellis, which you could argue is probably an overpay. But now you got Keon Ellis, Herb Jones, and a Saddiq Bey. Or maybe you still get an Andrew Wiggins, right? Like, the problem is you probably be looking at more second tier guys just because you have Luka, Austin Reeves, Herb Jones, like LeBron, things like that. So, but point is, like, Lakers would have more potential possibilities, and a team like the Pelicans might look at it as like, we get a young wing to replace him. Like there's levels to this. Again, I don't think I would go. I would do everything I can to keep a dude Thero. Me personally, I'd probably keep a dude Thero. I'm really high on a dude Thero. Herb Jones, right? Like, again, I think you could maybe get him without it. It just boils down to the packages. But again, if I remove my bias, if I'm Rob Pelinka, yes, I need to trade whatever I have to get that done to help you win today, right? So to me, it's like, where's the give and take? Now, again, a lot of talks about Herb Jones. You see Kevin O'Connor even recently, was doing breakdowns and explaining kind of the Herb Jones situation and, various trades for Herb Jones and stuff. And like I said, if you can get Herb Jones, go get Herb Jones. I just don't know if that, like, how real is that option, right? I don't doubt that he will become available. I don't doubt that because he doesn't have any leeway. He doesn't have any say, right? Like Keon Ellis, who I don't think would be the starter. He's more of a second tier guy, but like Keon Ellis has all the power. He could literally go, I only want to go to the Lakers, and no one's going to go trade for him. Fine, trade him to the Lakers, right? Because again, he's an unrestricted free agent, and he's not like some high-end guy where it's like Giannis. If he's like, I only want to go to the Lakers, like teams might look at it and go like, okay, that's great. We'll have you for a year and a half, right? Like, and then go trade for him, right? Keon Ellis, like teams, like if he goes like, hey, I only want to go to the Lakers, I want to play for the Lakers. Even if you trade for me, I'm just going to go sign with the Lakers in the offseason. Then teams will stay away. And then the Lakers would get somebody like that. Herb Jones can't do that, right? So now you have to have the best package in order to get Herb Jones, which again, Lakers might be able to do. That could always be a possibility. Who knows, right? But it's just Herb Jones is probably one of the best plug and play wings in all of basketball, right? He's one of the kind of more premier guys. Like they can just defend at a high level, defend multiple positions, can slot in and play multiple positions, slot in at the 2 for you, slot in at the 3 for you. So you can have like these different creative lineups, even in a small ball sense. At times you can slot him even at the 4 if you wanted to, right? Like that versatility that Herb Jones provides, I think is very valuable, right? So to me, it's one of those things where, if you can, I still want a second tier guy. So I'd still really try to pry a Saddiq Bey, right? Obviously Herb Jones, Saddiq Bey, and Misi solve like all your answers. You get a backup guy for now in the future and gives you even a guy in a post-8 era because he's young enough, right? You get a second tier wing, and then you get a starting wing in Herb Jones, right? Now you got basically everything you could ask for, and you still have the pieces and stuff to go do that, right? Like, so to me, it depends on, again, the extremities that the Lakers are willing to go. Right? What do the Pelicans demand for Herb Jones? Right? Because Lakers don't have multiple. Like, would a team pony up 2 firsts to go get Herb Jones? Probably. Right? Like, especially one of these, teams that are close or maybe a contender or whatever that could use, maybe a upgrade at the starting wing position or something. Right? Like, the competition is what the key is, because that drives up the demand. But, look, if you can get Herb Jones, go get Herb Jones. I think Miles Bridges is probably, like, if you want to talk about, like, who's the most realistic and probably the cheapest based on what the Lakers have, I think it's Miles Bridges. Because I think there's teams that would stay away from Miles Bridges. I think that there are questions about Miles Bridges compared to, like, a Herb Jones, stuff like that. Like, but I think Miles Bridges' upside is the highest. So, again, I think there'd be less competition. I don't think there'd be as big of packages. Right? Where Herb Jones, I think, teams are coming for him. Right. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you like this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. It's me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.